So welcome to episode 2 of the Coach's Corner. We are here with, as you can see, the 3A city champions, Brooklyn Tech. And of course, they were led by head coach, Coach Brian Pugh. What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Listen, I'm so excited to have this conversation. I have a lot. I'm very curious to hear from you.
Sure.
So first, congratulations,
Thank
of
you.
course,
Thank you.
on the championship. I've been around the PSAL, just me personally, since 2017. And Brooklyn Tech has had issues, let's say, pretty much since I've been involved in the PSAL. But, slowly but surely, every year, I would see, Brooklyn Tech's record, like, a little 2-6 this year.
Yeah.
4-4, So it's been a steady progression. Of course,
Sure.
It's culminated with this championship that we see right here. So can you just describe the process of building this tech program? You've been here for 4 full seasons, and 4 seasons to get a championship. That's quite the payoff.
Yeah, it worked out. But I mean, I got here in 2016. I volunteered. Then I got the JV head job. Coached under Sam Adewumi. Before that, I was under Kyle McKenna. And I just learned the ropes from those guys, and all the greats that came before them that coached here at Brooklyn Tech. I tried to not reinvent the wheel. I kept a lot of the same traditions around. And it's for these kids, it was just put it out there, give them the opportunity, weight room, 7-on-7s, speed training, spring ball practices, just give them the opportunity for it. And they took it and ran with it. So as much as it is us as a coaching staff giving them the opportunity and coaching them, it's a lot of the credit goes to those kids and what they did in 4 years.
Yeah, and Brooklyn Tech, of course, you guys are really known for your academics. It's not easy just to be admitted into the school, so that already gives you a smaller selection pool of athletes.
100%.
And just we were talking off camera, I think you were saying in 2021, was it, that you had 11 kids come out to try out?
Yeah, I mean, everybody can attest to this. COVID was tough on football, especially in New York City. We didn't have a season in 2020. Some teams were able to have a spring. We didn't have a spring, and we kind of put everything together as quick as we could going into that 2021 season. And that first day, it was like 11 or 12 guys rolled up to Commodore Barry Park because our field was still under construction. So we were at a public park fighting for space with just a handful of guys. And we talked a little bit about this before about recruiting the hallways. And those kids went out, recruited the hallways, put the word out there, dragged kids to practice, and those same kids were the team leaders that won this championship.
Coach, what is that like? You're at home, you write up this playbook, you have this, this whole grand plan. You roll up to the field, there's 11 players. You guys have a poor season in that first year. How do you really establish that culture to get, the football team? Let's not even talk about winning, just to be a cool thing to join and to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, and you're right. It wasn't easy. It was a lot of what the kids were doing. The kids were getting their friends to come to football games, getting their friends to come out for football. But, me and the coaching staff, we have been around winning. We have been around losing. We've been around success. We've been around adversity. We know how it goes, and we know, in theory, how to try to keep those kids' heads up and moving forward and working. And you're taking accountability for their mistakes and being disciplined enough to get back at it year after year. And you could just see it. There was something different about these kids. I don't say this about a lot of kids. There really was something different about these kids. It was the fire and the fight that they had. You could see it in them. I would have alumni come up after, 38 to 12 losses, and they come out and go, man, your kids never stop fighting. No, those are alumni. Those are guys that were around very successful teams, and they're saying it from the stands. And we can see it as coaches. There's just something different about these kids.
And you actually already answered my next question, because I was going to ask you, fast forward to this season, how did you think that, from day one that this group could make a run? And obviously you did from just...
Yeah, we knew we could make a run, but, you never just assume, you don't assume anything. We got to put the work in, but when we came out for day one of camp, we were rolling off of a semifinal loss. So, we had went from, I think that their freshman year, was 1-7, and then it was an 0-8 season. I might have those mixed up. And then to go to the semis, I mean, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, the kids are like, what we've been doing has paid off. So let's keep this rolling. They worked incredibly hard that offseason. So when they walked in on day one, you could see there was like a different air about them. And when we went away to football camp, I mean, just the intensity of the practices. We had this one night practice that we still talk about this practice. It might have been one of the best practices, coach or player, I've ever been a part of. It was a night practice, and we do three, and we can get 3 practices in up there because we got lights. So we're getting this practice in, and it's starting to cool down, and there's this fog just kind of falling. We're in the middle of Pennsylvania, just falling on the field. You got the lights going, and it was so intense and so exciting, and the kids were, like offense versus defense versus ones on twos. I mean, it was unbelievable, and we knew after that practice, like we all went to bed that night. We're like, this is different. This is different.
Listen, Coach, I would like to take 1% of credit for your success. I'm going to look into the camera and say, Michael, your quarterback, Michael Jung, he let me know that we didn't talk about Brooklyn Tech enough. And if we didn't talk about them until it was too late, you guys won the championship.
Yes,
so I'll take 1% of the credit. So shout out to you, Mike. You see, we got Coach here, man, with the trophy right here. So we're giving y'all your credit and your shine, of course, man. So let's get into that game against Fort Hamilton. It was literally one of the most unpredictable back and forth games I've seen, especially at that stage, that level, championship. You're at Old Boys Field, the Eagles Nest now.
Yeah.
Packed out. I mean, first of all, shout out to you guys at home, the Brooklyn Tech fans.
They showed
completely filled
They showed up.
that stadium, which was just incredible. And, we just said, you guys hadn't won a championship since 2006. And, just with all of that pressure of the history, I'm sure you put pressure on yourself because I know for that group particular, I know you guys wanted to win for that group.
Of course.
And of course, on the other side of the field was an extremely talented Fort Hamilton side. So what was that feeling like when that final whistle blew and you guys were champions?
I mean, well, honestly, the first thing you feel is just like, whew. Yeah. You kind of take that deep breath, like we did it, but just completely elated. I mean, it was one of the coolest experiences of my entire life. And just to see those kids get what they worked so hard for, and not just get it. I mean, really earn it. I mean, earn it down to the last second.
Literally,
really earn it. They such a tremendous feeling.
What is it like coaching in that game? So you guys were up at half. You score right before the end of the first half, but that third quarter, you guys really struggled in that third quarter. Fort Hamilton definitely made some adjustments.
Made some great adjustments.
Harold Marshall, I'm sure you know who that is, was wreaking havoc in the backfield.
It was.
So how is it when you kind of have to steady the ship? You guys take a big blow. It's all this pressure. How do you kind of keep everybody calm and ready to go into that fourth quarter?
I mean, the biggest thing is, obviously correcting mistakes, but there was a lot of things that were quote unquote not working that was just one little tweak away. So it was not that we need to revamp something or completely change something. It was like, let's get back to the fundamentals of this play, and fix this one particular thing, and let's keep the ball rolling. Like we've spent weeks preparing for the possibility of having this team in the championship. Why get away from the game plan now? Understanding that you need to make game time adjustments, but the game plan itself and what we have scouted and the film that we've watched, that stuff hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. So, making sure we stick with our game plan, making sure that we communicate from the booth down to the field, and just keeping the kids, focused on the game and not focused on any of the outside noise, what the scoreboard is, what's the next drive. And they were really good at that. There's a lot of things that you can coach, and there's certain things that you can't coach that some kids just have in them or they work at. And some of the kids on that team just had that X factor, that calm under pressure. Like, hey, let's get back to basics. Let's take care of this one play at a time and do my job, my 111.
And that's a good segue. Some of the leaders on your team, just extremely special. Michael Jung, he separates his shoulder, gets back into the game. Tristan Suarez probably would have ran through a brick wall that day, just under 200 yards, 4 touchdowns. Yeah. Just an incredible performance.
On the same play.
right? And, you know, Elijah Hendrick, I mean, the catch he made
Oh, unbelievable.
on the last drive of the game, which proved to be the game-winning drive for you guys, just incredible, incredible stuff.
Yes.
You know, how do you prepare, you know, those guys to shine when the lights are the brightest?
I mean, you can't prepare a kid to make that catch. You can't prepare Tristan to come out and play the way that he played. You know, you could try, you know, you can make sure that everything is in its place, but it's on that kid to do his 111. And the thing we started saying as we entered the playoffs was, do your 1+. So yeah, do your job. Do your job with that little extra. And those guys did that, you know, and that's not something that we taught them how to do. That's just, it comes down to effort, comes down to how bad you want it. You know, really, how bad do you want this? You know, and you could see they wanted it. You know, Mike, separated shoulder, he wants to keep playing. You know, it's in, he's feeling okay, he wants to keep playing. And on the outside, he's still, I don't know what he's feeling inside, but on the outside, he is calm as ever. And everybody around him can feed off of that energy. And if he makes a mistake, he comes off, he tells me what that mistake is, and he corrects it the next time, and he stays calm. And just that top-down leadership across the board amongst the players is what keeps, you talk about steadying the ship, it's what keeps that ship, you know, on the right path.
Absolutely. So let's look forward to this season, you know.
Yes, sir.
3A champions, and now you take that big step up into the 4A where, you know, cameras are on you, lights are on you, for sure. You know, how do you feel about this upcoming team, and why do you feel like this year was the right year to make that step up?
So we actually, you know, have no say in stepping up. It goes off of the PowerPoints, the 2 years of PowerPoints. So because we had a semifinal, then we have a championship, with those PowerPoints is why we are moving up. And same with Fort Hamilton, I believe. That's why they're on their way up as well. You know, preparing for this season is, there's a part of me that's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, I mean, as far as our weight room is concerned and what these kids are doing and the speed training and the 7-on-7s, I mean, we are putting in the same amount of work that we did last year, and we're trying to up that amount of work, just increase what we're doing, and work extremely hard. And they've been doing it all off season. You'll probably start to see them walking around this weight room in a minute now as we get ready for lift. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a challenge, you know, going up into the 4A, but you know, we're here. We're going to show up. No matter what it is, no matter who we're playing, we'll show up.
No, I really can't wait to see you guys, especially because of your offense. You know, when I watched, you know, that live stream back of the championship game, you know, it was really, as someone who, like, I really, really like advanced offenses and, you know, trying different formations, motions, and everything like that. And you guys show a lot of that in your offense and your offensive scheme. So where would you say, how did your staff really implement that, and how did you really get the players to buy into something, you know, pretty complex, honestly?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obsessed with that stuff. I love that stuff. You know, follow like Coach Dan Casey and like all these things on Instagram. I mean, I love the game. It's to this day is still evolving. At the same time, it's all still the same.
It's still the same.
Football is football, but there are, you know, a million ways to do something, and that's kind of our philosophy. Is that our plays don't change. The plays are the plays, but how can we dress this up this week? If you think maybe from like a comedian mindset, what's the setup punchline? You know, or in chess game, you know, how can I set up the next 6 moves? Or if we can run this really successfully, it's going to set this up. You know, for example, in the championship game, that touchdown pass that we threw to Ezra, I mean, we kind of lined up in that heavy formation, bite, opens up over the top, you know. So that is, our philosophy is taking what the defense is giving us. So it is that RPO style, and I didn't come up with it. You know, it was here when I got here. Coach Kyle McKenna is an unbelievable offensive mind, and I learned a lot here. And the basics of this offense, it started with him. There's just, you know, as the game evolves, we will evolve as well. And I have a really awesome offensive mind with me as well, Coach Hal Safran. And nobody watches more film than Coach Saf. And so he's always watching film, and he's coming with game plans and schemes things that may work well against these teams. So, how can we tweak this? How can we tweak something that really works for us as a play and dress it up and make it different? And the kids, I give them so much credit because, they are really, really smart kids. And their football IQ, it grows so quickly because a lot of these kids never played football before they came to Buffalo Tech. So for them to develop such a football IQ so quickly, it shows you how much they love the game. They get obsessed with it as well. And it allows us to do so much. We can literally have 19 different formations on the same play with the motions and everything, and they get it. They really do get it. They keep the mistakes to a minimum. But with that said, as any coach will tell you, you have to cater whatever your offense is. You have to cater it around what type of skills you have, what type of quarterback you have, running back, line, that kind of thing. So, that will evolve as well. The base of it will stay the same, but it will change based on the personnel that we have. But I appreciate you saying that. That's our favorite. That's my favorite thing in the world is offense.
Listen, I live stream a ton of games all the time,
right.
And I won't reveal. I mean, I don't know all of your secrets, but I won't reveal. It's on YouTube. It's public for everyone.
It's out there. Yeah.
My favorite was your tight bunch trips. Your tight trips, and you pull the two wide receivers. If you call the wide receivers wingbacks,
yep.
And they're pulling guards. Or pulling guards, excuse me, but they pull and become the lead blockers in the play.
Extra guy in there.
I love that.
That's, if you look back, it's the same thing as like what some of those wing T teams were doing. I mean, what is RPO? What is RPO and spread? I mean, it's just an elongated wing T essentially. I mean, it's you can have the triple option a million different ways, or you can have gap scheme a million different ways. So just trying to figure out based on our strengths, which our offensive line was very good last year. So how can we get two extra guys in there? How can we make this look like something, turn it into something else? And that ended up being successful for us. And then we can get the play action off of it, which worked really well.
Yeah, and I just love, like I said, the ambition of the offense because, this league is definitely known more for its physicality. Some of the best college recruits out of this league have been mostly defensive line, running backs, linebackers, and, with Lincoln, South Shore, and now you guys, even before Hamilton, playing more of like a balanced style with many different formations. I really love it because I feel like it's going to push the envelope for everyone to kind of evolve more. So I'm really excited and, I'm even, when it comes to my opinions, but I kind of want you guys to be successful just for that. Like, hey guys, look, this works, So you mentioned, you're, what I consider to be possibly one of the dark horses to be one of the better players in the league in Ezra Jose.
Sure.
He was so successful for you guys all year. Of course, Tristan Suarez really put his name on the map as well. So two guys coming back, you would expect them to lead the offense. So how about you talk about those two players?
Yeah, I mean, to start with Ezra, I mean, if there's one thing that you really can't coach, it's time on the field, it's game experience. And that he's going into his fourth year of it. When he was a freshman, I had him on scout offense, and I threw a deep ball to him, and he made an unbelievable catch. I was like, where we're at right now with numbers, you're coming up, bud. Boy. And he came up, and he did some things his freshman year, his sophomore year, and he's just steadily improved. So that extra field time gives you an edge, when you get a kid who has that varsity level experience. Obviously, the game speed is going to increase immensely, but his speed has increased immensely. He's been working his butt off. Speed, weight room. He's really a spectacular player, and he's falling in love with the craft of playing wide receiver, coming down to the minutia of how to throttle down and get into your breaks, get out of your breaks, get off of press, all of those sorts of things. So it's cool to watch him, really nerd out over the position and fall in love with the position. So he's been fun to coach. And Tristan, I mean, how do you not love Tristan Suarez? I mean, any coach in the world will say, I'll take that guy, a million times. I'd take 11 of those guys. Because he really will run through a brick wall. His physicality, his experience with the game. He played youth football, so he has a lot of experience with the game, and he's played with some really spectacular players who have gone on to play around the PSAL and in the CHSFL and go on and play college football. So he comes from a football background, but there's just something about him that, like I said, you can't coach. I mean, we can put him through all the drills. He can do all of his steps right and things like that. But when it's game time, he is incredibly difficult to tackle. His sense of where people are on the field, his vision, his ability to stay underneath people, is really tremendous.
Yeah, and just the grit, and just like you said, the certain things that you can't coach. Pretty sure your championship game was on December 1st, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what date it was, but it was about 0 degrees. You both agree with that.
After Thanksgiving, it was cold. It was cold.
And just seeing just the grit and the determination that Tristan had, and just like you said, he's not the biggest guy, but that contact balance, that low center of gravity, where players who have realistically 30 to 35 pounds on him, he's still able to break these kind of tackles.
Yes.
And it's just tremendous. And just like you said, his experience and the intangibles he has, he's definitely going to be a player to watch along with Ezra. Absolutely. And of course, you guys have to replace Michael John at quarterback. What are the plans there?
So we have a couple quarterbacks in the program right now. We don't have any rising seniors.
Wow.
So we are kind of, evolving with what we have. Like, for example, the backup in the championship game, Cole Scanlon, he was a sophomore during that game. So he's coming up as a junior. He's been working very hard, 7-on-7s, throwing the ball with his receivers. We also have two other quarterbacks in the program. We have a quarterback named Beckett, and we have he's Cole's age. And we also have a freshman who's going to be a sophomore. His name is Logan. Logan has been at the 7-on-7s too, and he's putting on a show sometimes. He's young. He's working on his strength. He's working on his game experience. I'd like to keep him on JV and get more experience. But if he has to come up,
he might be like, yo, coach.
You never know. Hey, you never know. You never know. And I'd like to apologize to Coach Adewumi if we do end up taking him up. That's our. But yeah, I mean, we have tremendous young quarterbacks coming up. Just waiting for their chance, and we'll see what it looks like. I mean, the game can evolve based on what type of quarterback you have, whether it's a runner, whether it's someone like Michael who manages the game extremely well, or whether you have a passer, someone who can throw the long ball, the quick ball, someone who can option. It depends on what you have. So based on what we see out of these guys as we move into the season, that will determine what we're able to do and what we want to do offensively.
Are there any games in particular, especially coming up to the 4A, that you're looking forward to the most? No, I can't choose one. It's not that I'm looking forward to all of them so much. It's just that I just want to get it started. Yeah, man. It's like that waiting before a game starts. It's like you hate the waiting. I want to get after it. The only thing I'm really focused on is taking it week by week, making sure that we're prepared. We're watching film. I want to out-expert whoever it is I'm playing. If I'm in a chess match with the defensive coordinator, I want to win that chess match. If our defensive coordinator is in a chess match with their offensive coordinator, we want to win that chess match. So how well do we know our opponent? How well do we know the coaching staff that we're going against? And just really working at that and keeping my focus on that, because that's what I can control. I can't control a lot of things, but I can control how prepared we are. So really focused on that, and focused on staying healthy. The biggest thing, we don't have 80 kids, in the program right now. I don't know how many we're going to have on varsity. It depends on who's coming out. We may get some more kids coming out in the fall, but you always assume you're going to have less than what you may have, and you need to be prepared for that. So how do we stay healthy? How do we practice properly so that we stay healthy for the long run across the season, and making sure that we have guys ready and able to fill positions if things go south. Hey, Coach, maybe this will help get a few more recruits, a few more like, hey, maybe I'm going to join some football. Let's get basketball.
Hey, 200 guys try out for basketball. We can only take about 12, 15 on the team. Come on out.
Coach, how about you talk about your staff and how they contribute to your success?
Sure. Yeah. I couldn't have done any of this without that staff. And these guys were here, most of them before I was here. you're talking about legends. I mean, first of all, my defense coordinator, Coach Council, we all call him Scooter. He has incredible experience defensively, as a player and, as a coach, and his knowledge of the game, and his knowledge of the defensive line. I mean, the things that he knows and what he can teach the kids is really tremendous. It's fun to watch him work. So he's a tremendous defensive coordinator, and he's getting better with every year. And coaching with him, we've got Coach Jerome Brown, who was the defensive coordinator before, and Coach Brown has been here forever. I mean, this is linebacker you. If you want to play linebacker, you want to get coached by Jerome Brown at Brooklyn Tech. That's the guy. So, I mean, we have a tremendous linebacking coach. Coach James Gales, an alumni of Brooklyn Tech, volunteers more time than he probably like to admit. I mean, it's unbelievable what he gives back to this program. He's here he'll be here today, helping out with the weight room. He's here through everything, and tremendous special teams coach. And what else? I mean, running backs, receivers, corner, whatever. He does it all. I spoke a little bit about Coach Saff on the offense. I mean, he's a tremendous offensive mind. I got, there's too many to list them all, but what they're able to do, blows my mind. I thought that, I didn't know what to think, taking over as a head coach and who's going to stay, who's going to leave, and the guys who are able to stay and give up their time. And any other coach in the PSL can attest to this. These are all volunteers, and they're volunteering their time, and they're giving back, and most of them are alumni, and that's why they're giving back. And they want to be here, and they want to see the kids succeed, and they want to see the kids have fun and have that same experience that they had, So I can't wait to coach another season with these guys. We have a lot of fun together, and we know how to put our heads together when times get tough. We've been through the losses together. We've been through the losses, and then we've been at the pinnacle. We've been at the championship game. So there's nothing they can't handle. So we're not nervous about anything. We don't think that there's anything we're not prepared to handle. But we just got to make sure we're ready to jump on it, when it does happen.
I love that, Coach. And, you were able to coach right on your shirt at the All-Star Classic.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Tech was represented in the old Boomer game, if you guys aren't familiar. So how was it coaching in that game? And just talk about the game a bit. And, you had some Brooklyn Tech representation on there. How was that?
Yeah, we did. It was so much fun. I mean, I can talk about how I was a little kid at those games, watching the jet flyovers, watching the fireworks at the end of the game, seeing Boomer Esiason. I mean, my father had coached in that game for many years, and I would be there on the sidelines watching the game. And, I had dreamed of playing in it. I never got a chance to play in it. And then to come full circle and be able to coach in it, and to coach with legends, Danny Lamberg, Sean O'Connor. All those guys. Mike Cameron-Deese has been coaching high school football forever. So to be able to coach with those guys, Chris Abb Jr., Coach Timmy Smith, Coach Lou Vesci, Coach Zuck. All those guys. It was an awesome time. Wish we could have won. It is what it is. It's tough to get all those practices together with guys coming from all the different boroughs. That was a challenge, but moving forward, we know things that we can fix, and how we can get better with those things. Looking forward to maybe getting another opportunity to do that. But it's nice to see the game back. New York City needed it.
Hey, and I was, I had the pleasure of being there taking pictures. It's just seeing the Michigan versus Ohio State. I loved it. The whole atmosphere. I was able to only going to grow more and more.
Absolutely.
So listen, there's a bunch. What is that? Quite a few kids chomping at the bit, ready to go.
Ready to lift.
We're in the middle of July. Excuse me, not even at July yet. It's June right now as we're recording this. You guys are in July watching this. So, Brooklyn Tech is getting ready for the upcoming season. So let's just get this last question. You guys are up in the 4A. Last year, yes, it was my fault, Mike. I don't know if you're over there. If Mike is still lifting, maybe, he has to go to Planet Fitness now. Brooklyn Tech is definitely going to have the spotlight on them. A lot of people are going to say, hey, let's see if these guys are for real. They're coming with this 3A championship. Can they make the playoffs? Can they make a run in the 4A? What's a successful season for the Engineers this year?
Successful season, like I was saying before, staying healthy. That's the biggest thing. Forget wins and losses. Can we stay healthy? Can we keep our heads up when things go wrong? And can we stay cool when things go well? You know, obviously you want to win as many games as possible. That's the idea, you know, in this sport. But more important than that, are we still able as a coaching staff to raise young men? That's the most important thing. Scholar athletes, guys are going to go on and be successful and understand what it is to be a young man in this ever-changing world. That's the most important thing, outside of the wins and losses. So yeah, football it's a fun game, but it's the lessons that it teaches you outside of the sport. That's what we're trying to do here.
Coach,
Appreciate it.
absolute pleasure.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
We are going to be back with interviewing Coach Neville from Tottenville. Make sure you subscribe to the Sage Media Solutions YouTube channel. See you guys next episode.